Hey everybody, welcome to day 66. Today our topic is building your own tracks in this life. Many of us have grown up with this primary conditioning that we have to please a parent, that we have to please a spouse, that we have to please later on in our life an influencer. And so we learn that in order to be accepted and loved in the greater society, that we have to stay on the tracks that they have set out for us. And you and I have lived that. But after you've lived that for a while, you start feeling that there's a sense of you that is not being fed. That there's a sense in you that is it's just going dry. It's like a dry well. And in order to feed that anxiety, that depression, we start taking up our little addictions, whether it's alcohol, drugs, sex, speed, being a shopaholic, whatever we use is to feed that void. And that void is simply, we are not doing the things that we love to do. We are not staying true to our mandate in this world, that we will follow our talents, we will follow the inner guidance that takes us to that fulfillment, that space of love, that space of peace, that place where when we engage in this activity, 5 hours pass and it feels like a half hour. You see, when we follow the tracks laid to us by others, we fall victim. We're living a life, a scripted life. And we weren't even writing that script. And then on top of it, those people that wrote the script then get a perfect opportunity to judge us. Because then they have an idea of what our life should be. And we allow this. They playing their script, and it gets handed down, and everybody lives the scripted life. Until you and I wake up and we say, fuck it, I'm not living this script. And you become a rebel. Sometimes in your teens, sometimes if you really play a good girl, good boy role, boom, you're going into your 20s or in your 30s, and even later in your life, you start behaving outside of the script and everybody goes, oh, midlife crisis, whatever. The deal is when you are going to ask for what you want, you will soon see who are your friends, who's the loved ones. Because they'll be challenged, but they'll stick around. But those that have used you as a pawn in their game, that you've allowed, I want to emphasize that you've allowed that. There's no victims here. We are all volunteers, consciously or unconsciously. And when you are a volunteer to be used, accept that. Don't judge you for that. Everybody has gone through that. But the promise that is within you, that promise to follow your talent, that promise to follow your potential, when that comes back, then all of this stuff becomes really, really a burning desire in you. And the road back from an addiction, the road back from medicating yourself to not follow your dreams, to not follow your truth. That's the first part of the journey. That's the first part of the journey. And sometimes the hardest part of the journey. I can remember that when I started bodybuilding competitively and wanted to win, I couldn't believe how hard it was to diet. And the reason for why it was so hard to diet is because I had an eating addiction. And the eating was my medication. The eating was the thing that I could stuff myself. I was living in an environment where we are taught to eat. There's no judgment. In African culture, that's just the way it is. In every culture, apparently, that's what it is. I learned. You think you're special? Your culture is special? Nah, it's not so much. We're all humans. We're doing this eating thing to cover, to medicate something else. And that road back, the road back to pick up your talents, rediscover them. The road back to seeing an old life vision and reviving it, resuscitating it. The road back to following your inner guidance. That's what this journey is about. And many of you watching this, you say, no, but I've lived my life and I am happy and I'm all of it. But I've got a serious question for you. Are you really? Come on. This self-discovery journey asks that you are brutally honest. And that brutal honesty, you gotta do the internal diagnosis and say, am I living my life vision? Am I following my heart, my inner guidance? Or am I just chasing after the next down? I'm chasing this thing down every alley, dark alley. You know, and sometimes that happens in relationships. You're chasing down every relation, you're chasing down every business opportunity. There is only one real opportunity that is presented to you, and that is when you follow your inner life vision and you follow the inner guidance. That's where the peace lies. That's where the potential lies. That's where all the love stuff happens. That's where all the acceptance is given to you. If this resonates with you, I just want to always open my door that I've never done this on these videos. That's what I do. I'm here to assist you on that journey. So just for today, think about it. Are you building your own tracks or are you loving someone else's life tracks? Until I see you again, have a fantastic day. Cheers.